everyone, and welcome to Club 3, Episode 7 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. If this is not the episode to click that like button on this video, I do not know what is. February has been utterly brilliant for us. 4 wins, 2 draws. The 2 draws against some of the higher up Brentford's in like 4th position, for example. So we got even the draws were really positive results. I was going to come back and play Portsmouth in today's episode, but I saw on the horizon was our arch rivals Forest again, Nottingham Forest. And having lost to them once since we've taken over from the Derby County club, I wanted to get revenge on them if possible. So today we play Forest at home, arch rivals. Let's go and check out the competition, and you can see that we're currently sitting in 10th place with Forest a couple behind us in 13th place. Couple of points difference between the two sides. So if we win today, we can sort of bury their chances of going ahead of us in this particular season, I would think. And it really boosts our chances of really pushing towards this playoff place. It's a bit of an ask. I don't think we're going to get there. I don't think we will personally, but I think we'll probably get up to maybe 8th if we're lucky. So I think for next season, the playoffs are a definite possibility if we can keep this good run of form going and potentially shift a few things in the summer transfer window like we did in the January as well. But February, as I say, has been absolutely brilliant, and so much more positivity around the club since this poor run of form that the club were on in the lead up to us taking over in the first place. But yeah, the main changes have been the likes of Roberto coming into the side. He's got a couple of goals, no assists yet, which surprises me a little bit, but he's been very instrumental in all of the aspects of our play, which is really positive. Kang In on the right hand side, not quite so much at the moment, has got 1 assist, but has been a little bit off the pace, and so we're just bedding him in still a little bit. Daniels on the left hand side are complete star for most of this season. It continues to be that. He's got 11 goals and 13 assists in 31 matches for us, which is very good. But everybody else is contributing. Everybody's had games. Even the young lad Berkeley, who we brought in on loan, has had a game and done very well when we asked him to. And everybody's fit and healthy for today, which is really positive. You can see if we go and have a look quickly in the dynamics page, that we've got one unhappy player. Izzy Brown wants to go out on loan. Is fine. We're not using him, so I can understand that. But I tried in the January window and nobody was wanting him, which is unfortunate. But he's the only unhappy player that we've got. Everybody else is going great guns at the moment. Hierarchy, you can see that Kelly, McNair and Benningham are the team leaders, which is a positive place for them to be. Social group, Berkeley, the young lad's only the one out on his own. Everybody else is paired up at least. Happiness, everybody's pretty happy. You know, there's a couple of little bits of concern here and there over playing time for some of them, like Butterworth, but he's not getting back in this side again. There's the code of contact. I don't need a team meeting, so it's all really good at the moment. Everybody's pretty cheerful about where we've currently found ourselves after that January transfer window. So having had everybody fit and healthy, which is positive, I've chosen my first 11, and currently it is Rakovic in goal, Cotter at right back, Kelly at left back, Kemp and Senna in central defence, Benningham, Roberto and Crowley in central midfield, with Kang In on the right, Daniels on the left and Clark up top, with a bench of Story, Boone, McNair, Knight, McCowan, Brown and Walker. So let's get into this game against our arch rivals Nottingham Forest and see what happens. Assertively, we owe Forest for what happened in the last game. They're coming at us with a 4-2-3-1 formation. We're in our asymmetric style of play, the positive style that we've been adopting since that January transfer window, since we were able to rejig the personnel a little bit. Don't get me wrong, today is going to be really tricky. It's not going to be an easy game by any stretch. A local rival kind of game never is easy, but we're on a good run of form and I desperately want us to continue it here. Kang In on that right hand side, crosses left footed to the far post, and Daniels with a header back across the goalkeeper, and we take a 1-0 lead after just under 7 minutes. Brilliant work down the right-hand side from Kang In, who I said before the game has been slightly underperforming, I think, since he came into the club. But on that occasion, took his time, shifted it back onto his left foot and then crossed it to the far post with Daniels stood there for a really nice cushioned header back across the goalkeeper. And we take a 1-0 early lead, which is really positive. 16 minutes in, another highlight for us down the left-hand side. Can we keep our momentum moving forward, keep the ball nicely, don't lose it in silly positions and find a way to carve out another chance? Kelly right away on that left wing, into Daniels, into the box, back to Kelly and Clark with a header at the near post this time, the header. And it was a lovely move again down that left-hand side. For Kelly and for Daniels to interplay with each other very nicely. Kelly right in that bottom corner, gets it into Daniels, decides he doesn't need to run at his defender, puts it back out to Kelly, lovely ball into that near post, and Clark makes no mistake, and that's his 5th goal since joining us in January, which is really positive from him. He's providing that impetus up front that I was really lacking just before that January window. Corner came in from Forest. We got it partially cleared, but they pick it up again, go deep with the follow-up cross, and it goes over the top of the bar. Doesn't really challenge the goalkeeper on that occasion, and things are looking very, very nice. Not many chances around in this first half so far, but those that have fallen to us so far we've taken very nicely. Long free kick, and that's really poor defending, isn't it? A really straight long free kick just into that 6-yard box. And the attacker gets a run on our defenders. For whatever reason, they were not switched on enough. And he came round the side and the back of our defence. And Banks puts it in for 2-1. And that's disappointing. So we're going to shout and we're going to tell them to concentrate for that last bit. Apparently they're overwhelmed by that. I don't care how overwhelmed they are. Just do it and get us through to half-time, which they did. Confidence or no confidence is a really important aspect of Football Manager, and at the moment confidence is high. They're overwhelmed by the feedback, but I'm still going to be positive with them at half time and say things are going well, but I know you're capable of even more. Obviously the pre-match shout, or the pre-half-time shout didn't help particularly, but it's always disappointing when you get those things slightly wrong. How can you say concentrate and then freak out by it? It's just kind of common thought nature, isn't it, to try and concentrate in those situations. But anyway, that's the vagaries of Football Manager team talks and shouts. But what a lovely sweeping move that was, right the way from the full-back position across to the left-hand side. Daniels gets in, has a decent effort, but the goalkeeper was up to it on that occasion. And we still remain at 2-1. And we can still be fairly positive about how this game is going from the match stats, although Forest have come back into it slightly. So we are going to see what changes we can make. Crowley's struggling a little bit, so Jason Knight comes on for him. We've got Cotter down that right-hand side, the full-back, who's also struggling a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put McNair there. He can play in lots of different positions. That may not necessarily be one of them, but he can still definitely do a job for us. And then we are going to leave it for now and just play another 10 minutes or so and see where we're at before we use all of our substitutions up. But so far, so good. And here we go down the right-hand side from a throw-in, the left-hand side, sorry, for a throw-in. And we lose possession, but Camp covers the over-the-top ball very nicely. We try to do it ourselves, and it doesn't quite work. And we need to just calm our play down a little bit in midfield and not go too early up to the front guy. Let's bring the players up with the ball and see whether we can support him better. But our shape is remaining pretty good in this defensive third of the pitch. But they get a long shot and Rakovic just about claws it out down that down past that post for a corner kick. And the corner will come in from that far side. And can we clear the ball? We partially clear it. They work it back into the box. Lots of closing down, which is really, really positive. No silly challenges, but we just maintain pushing them back. But they find the space. And again, we get it cleared up to Knight. And it goes early again. This time, he holds the ball very well. And we come away with it. But the highlight comes back and it's now a Forest throw again. And again, they're working their way towards our goal. A little bit too often, which is unfortunate at this stage of the game. So we're going to pause it there for a second just and build up the tension because something's coming. So I'm going to demand more from them at that point, and we are going to make a substitute because I noticed Kang In was struggling with an injury, so McCowan comes on that right-hand side. Let's see how this plays out, and we win the ball back. But again, we lose it by going too early to that front guy. Again, we win it though. Daniels, can we finally put our foot on the ball a little bit? There's Roberto. Decent effort from him and a lovely finish from Clark. That's what I was expecting more from Roberto. We've seen him get a couple of really good positive goals for us. Always be involved in the play, but there's a direct assist, and that's why we brought him into this setup. And it was a lovely ball over the top from him, just inside the halfway line. And that's the sort of area you want to be dinking those balls in, not the right way from the back. And Clark makes no mistake about it. And we can confirm the changes that we made because, unfortunately, Kang In did pick up that knock and we do need to get him off. But that's okay. McCowan is a perfectly good understudy to him and has been playing better himself since the January transfer window changed our personnel a bit. He's played much better when we've given him the chance, so that's encouraging. Those new players are making our current players play better, which is really positive. And it looks like we're going to get a really positive win against our direct local rivals, which is incredibly good, and it shows how far we've moved since we played them a couple of months ago. And that was a wild effort from Forest just to finish off their chances, I hope. And that's it. It was a very even game in terms of match stats, but quality in front of goal was the real difference, and it was in our favour on this occasion. So passionately, I'm very happy with the way that you played. Let's go and see what that does to our position in the table. And it should boost us no end, depending on what other people have done around us. So let's have a look. Where do we sit? We still sit in 10th place, but you can see we're still 3 points off of Huddersfield above us, and then there's a couple more points to a couple more teams. So we are beginning to really show signs that we can reel in a couple more teams in the remaining fixtures of this particular campaign. So what have we got coming up? Well, if we go and have a look in the schedule, not the scouting, the schedule. Well done, Kev. That's a good job. And have a look at what our running consists of. What have we got? We've got about 10 games left. So I'm going to come back and we're going to play Wigan in the next episode. And then we might do, from Bolton in, we might play a couple of these extra games at the end if we've got a potential for getting in those playoff positions possibly. Or we'll go from Wigan and come straight to the end of the season, figure out how we can then move forward into next season being a much more positive sort of side. But that's going to do it for today. Another really positive result and a really good run, having transformed this club. I see that we can really move this club forward again into next season. So we've got to maintain the discipline of the way that we play and the positivity of the way that we play to get more positive results as we move forward. So yeah, as I say, great today. That'll do it. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps you keep up to date with the videos. If you haven't clicked that like button, surely now's the time to do it. Blast that click button for me. It helps me get seen by loads of other new people, but it also shows me that you're invested in this particular series, which is really positive. But thanks very much for joining me. I'll stop rambling. I'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.